Good evening, everyone, and happy Tuesday. This week is extra special, so sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Before we get into tonight's guest, let's talk about what's going on the Avenue. Were you here for Resurrection Sunday? It was amazing. Being at NRG last year was great, but there is nothing like worshiping together in the building and in our new cathedral for the first time ever. What a blessing. We're still celebrating 60, and there are more exciting events coming up. This Friday, April 22nd at 7 o'clock p.m., each of you are invited to our 60th anniversary concert featuring Pastor John P. Key and Bishop Marvin Sapp. Make sure that you're in the building because I have a feeling that this will be a worship experience like none other. Make sure you stay tuned to the Avenue News and the events page on our website for details and updates about all of the wonderful things taking place around here, especially as we make our way to the first Sunday in June for our 60th church anniversary. A few moments ago, I shared that tonight is extra special, and that is because we have some talent on the Avenue. Two of our fellow Wheelerites are joining us this evening to share their talents and the journeys that led them to discover those talents. First, we have Mr. Coy Cartwright, who at only 13 years old is a fantastic award-winning artist. Let's hear from him now. Thank you for joining us on the Avenue, Coy. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Good. Well, you're 13 years old and you are amazingly talented. And I hear that this evening you will be actually sketching while we're having our conversation. What about that?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, I'm excited. You can go ahead and start whenever you're ready. But when did you discover that you had these gifts?
Well, ever since I was 4 years old, I used to always color in my coloring books. And so my teacher, when I got into second grade, she noticed that my skills in art were a bit advanced for my age. And so I took that to word and started trying to draw the characters inside the coloring books, and I just managed to get better at it and master it.
Nice. So what were some of those characters that you started drawing early on?
Well, my first character was Iron Man, and then I used to love Batman. He was like my favorite character.
Nice. Well, if you don't mind sharing, what's your creative process when you're thinking of a new piece to draw?
Well, I really don't pre-think what I'm drawing. I just add more. When I draw pictures, I just add more onto it.
Nice. So you just go for it. You just jump right in, and whatever happens, happens. Nice. That's true art right there. Well, we have a few of your TikToks playing behind us right now. Is that where you post the majority of your content?
Yes, ma'am.
So you have your adoring fans comment and just say what they want you to draw, and you just do it.
Yes, ma'am.
Cool. So what are some of the things that you've drawn on TikTok? I know you said early on you did Iron Man and Batman, but what are you doing now?
Well, I'm drawing a person standing in the ring.
That's what you're drawing here on your sketchbook?
Yes.
Okay. So how long does it usually take you from start to finish?
Well, about 15 minutes, but usually when I'm at home, I just have lots of breaks. So it makes them about 45 minutes.
Yeah, and what are you doing during those breaks?
Either eating or or just watching TV.
Yeah. Okay. So what are some of your greatest accomplishments that you've had as an artist so far?
I'm a rodeo art champion.
Ooh.
And also this year, I submitted art for the rodeo and I was a finalist.
Yeah, I want to talk a little bit about that. You received an award from the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo, which is a major deal. Tell us a bit about that. What did you draw and how did you enter?
Well, I drew a cowboy.
Mm-hmm.
And
Fitting.
I basically, instead of drawing like a normal cowboy, on the shirt I decided to add a galaxy. Just what I was thinking at the moment. I really didn't put much thought into it. And I submitted that through my school, and I received the award as a finalist of the Rodeo Art Contest.
Wow. So what does that mean as a finalist at the Rodeo Art Contest?
Well, that means that I was chosen as one of the competitors, as one of the final picks of the Rodeo Art Champion.
And you received a ribbon and
Yep.
yeah, nice, and bragging rights, right? Because not everybody can say that they've won an award at the rodeo. That's huge. So what or who has been your greatest inspiration?
Well, it's really been my second grade art teacher, because she basically motivated me to draw more. Because at first I really didn't pay much mind to it until she made me realize that I was actually a good artist for my age.
Yeah, it's important to have that support, especially in the classroom. So can you tell us a little bit about Creative Vids Apparel? Because I've seen your amazing work on social media and the people need to hear about this. So what is it and how did you start Creative Vids Apparel?
Well, Creative Vids Apparel is an online clothing website that I use to sell my clothing. When I created it during the times when Donald Trump was president, and we had a lot of injustice. So I thought to myself, I want to spread peace with the world. So I thought of the design, come on y'all, bring peace to the world. And I sold my first shirt online.
Nice. And so now you're selling all kinds of things all over. So you're selling those, and do you have any other types of shirts or hoodies that you're selling?
Well, I do take custom orders, and I still do, and I basically do what they want on the shirt and sell that.
Nice. Well, how can we support your artistry, and how can we support Creative Vids Apparel?
Well, you can support by following my page, but I don't really want to ask you to buy any of my stuff if you don't really want to, but if you do, you can visit the website, which is creativevidsapparel.com.
Nice. That is so sweet. Well, I'm hoping that a lot of people will see this and support your vision and your artistry, because it is truly amazing and it's a good cause, bringing peace to the world. So I want to talk a little bit more about what you have here. I see you've moved on to the next phase, which is the color. So how do you choose your colors when you're painting? Well, when you're drawing, sketching?
Well, some skin colors is either from light peach to like dark tan. So I usually start with the lighter colors and add shading further on into the drawing.
Okay. Nice. Well, I'm going to let you finish your drawing, and I want to thank you again so much for joining us on The Avenue. Your church family is extremely proud of you and really excited about your future.
Thank you.
I love when children are confident in their gifts and use them for good. Thank you again, Coy, for sharing. Now, we will hear from Deaconess Chandra Livingston, a singer-songwriter who will share her original song, I'll Know You. joining us on the Avenue. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks so much for having me. It's great to be here.
Good. Well, you are from Music City, so it is almost inevitable that you develop some musical gifts. When did you realize that you could sing?
That's a great question. Actually, I used to be on the usher board at Mount Olive Baptist Church in Nashville, and they were kind of short of some sopranos. So being that, the eclectic church where you do all the things, they needed some sopranos. So myself and my good friend Kim Fleming kind of volunteered, and they kind of took over from there. We started off as the usher board choir. And then Miss Penny, who was the head of the usher board, actually taught us all the songs, and it kind of took over from there.
When was your first solo? And were you nervous to share your gift? And have you always had this lovely confidence about yourself?
Oh, wow. I think my first solo was actually a part of a duet that I did with Kim. We always did hymns, and there were different hymns that we did, but Amazing Grace seems the one that comes to mind. That was always, no matter where we were, what congregation, it seemed to resonate with whenever we would travel. And being a part of the Baptist Student Union, you would travel and sing. So that's one that resonates with me. But so many, but that one comes to mind. But there's something about when you're singing about something that's real in your life, something that that even as young as when I was in elementary school and middle schools when we started, I just knew this was something that was important. Miss Penny's, kind of emphasized, you're not just singing because we have nothing else to go on the program. This is a service to God. So you kind of started off shaky, but then after she would slip you a piece of gum and, get you a hamburger or something before we went out, it would be fine, so.
So why would you say that it's important for us to share our gifts with the world?
That's a good one. Sometimes with everything going on, so many disruptions, it's very easy to shrink back. But what resonates with me is when Pastor Cosby started off the new year saying it's 2022, this is the year of being better, knowing you're gonna get better, God's got better for us. I thought, what better time to just live out on purpose, live out with every single gift God has given you, whether it be song, ministry, theater, whatever it is. Just be you, be authentically you, and let it all shine and just see where it lands. You're gonna mess up, but it's okay. God's got you.
Well, let's talk about your song. When we spoke earlier, you shared that music should tell a story. What was the story behind the song that you'll be sharing with us tonight?
Great question. There are many times in our lives when we find ourselves in situations where we are desperate. And that's a word we don't like to use because it shows an uncool side of us, but there are the moments when there's just a desperate situation. And I thought about those times in the Bible where there are these unknown people, but we still talk about them, even we don't know their names, but they had a desperate moment. And at the intersection of their desperation and God's love, they were seen, they were heard. And even though the people around them didn't care who they were, God knew. God sees and God cares. So the song's about all those moments where you feel as though you don't belong, there's no seat for you at the campfire, that just know that God is always there. He always has room for you. And no matter if you forget yourself and what you're all about and what your purpose is here for in life, God's got you and He will know you at those times when you need to be known. So that's kind of where it kind of started. And when I write, I kind of try to put myself in that person's moment. If you think about, the woman was ceremonially unclean. It was against the law for her to even be there. She could have been arrested, but she was so determined, so bound and determined that I'm gonna get my touch. And she got it and she was healed. So it just started from there. And then I thought of other instances where people had a desperate moment and He took the time to see them. And then it circles back around to when we have our desperate moments. It's that same God with the same answer. I'll know you.
Well, we are so honored that you recorded such a beautiful song for this moment here. What are your plans for the song now that it's out there in the world?
Great question. Well, actually, a good friend of mine, Kim Fleming, who I soloed with, as I speak with in elementary school, now went on to be Fish Jubilee singer. She sung backup with many people, and we're still good friends to this day. She got me in touch with Lisa Nelson, who's a composer, keyboardist, and we've copyrighted the song. I've joined ASCAP in the last 2 weeks since I submitted to the talent showcase. And so now I'm gonna, see who else needs this song to be heard. It doesn't necessarily is my song. I heard on the Grammys that, songs are meant for messages, and it's like a telegraph sent out, and it's meant for the person that's meant to hear that message at that moment. So it may not be meant for me to deliver it, but there's someone that I'm sure would want to know, to be a part of a project that lets people know that you will be seen and heard no matter what's going on in your life. So I'm gonna shop it around and see what happens. Maybe on the avenue, we got a recording studio and all kind of things around here. So start right at home and see where it blossoms from there.
Do you have any plans on recording an album?
Ooh, hadn't thought about that, but you know what? I've seen from the last 24 months that God will take us to some places that we didn't know we were prepared, but when we get there, we'll have everything we need to do that. So we'll see. For now, I'm just happy to be on the Wheeler CD that we're getting ready to do, but we'll see what God says. I'm open to it.
Well, I'm going to get out of the way because we are all ready to hear this beautiful song of yours. So thank you so much for joining us on The Avenue, and you can take it away.
Thank you, Adrian. Appreciate it.
I was the one who had to see him, made my way through the crowd. Desperately I touched his garment, inside I cried out loud. While thou art passing by, please Lord remember me. Lovingly he turned his head, here's what he said to me.